TS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for affording us this opportunity to share with the Honorable House on the issues that have been raised before us. And for purposes of the record, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Senator William Kisang, yes, raced with me for the 5-kilometer distance at the 10 marathon. As to whether he won or not, that is a matter of debate another time. But quickly, Honorable Speaker, please allow me as a preliminary just to say that the ministry is restructuring and realigning all our operations to be in sync with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda of government. This restructuring and realignment includes the following, some of which are relevant to the question that the Honorable Senator Kisang has asked. Number one, for the Safari Rally project, we are embarking on a fresh 3-year contract following amendment of the initial contract, extending the period for hosting the WRC Safari Rally from 3 to 6 years. We are using this transition phase to restructure the whole WRC Safari Rally project, and I'm pleased to report that we already have succeeded to return the Safari Rally to its traditional Easter season from June. Number two, on training camps, we are instituting a mapping exercise, including enacting rules for registration, operation, reporting, and monitoring of these camps. On funding, we are ring-fencing the Sports, Arts, and Social Development Fund, the SASDF, to primarily focus on development of sports and the creative economy. And further, we are introducing measures to enhance transparency, accountability, and transparency, including disclosure of any co-funding from sponsors before any federation is funded by government. Those are some of the things we are doing generally, Honorable Speaker. Now allow me, with respect, to move right away from question number 70 on the training camps. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, Section 46 of the Sports Act 2013, as read together with Regulation number 4 of the Sports Registrar Regulations of 2016, places the responsibility of regulating professional sports persons and bodies through licensing on this Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy, and Sports. This includes training camps, sports academies, athletes, referees, agents, and coaches. It is important to note, for the record, that indeed training camps bear some benefits, including talent development, performance enhancement, skills transfer and knowledge sharing, exposure to international competitions, and other economic benefits. Let me disclose to this Honorable House that when we came to office, we realized that the benefits of training camps notwithstanding, this ministry had not been undertaking the important task of registering, monitoring, and overseeing operations of training camps. This is a responsibility that had been relegated to Athletics Kenya, and obviously it has been a gap I must disclose to this House. Now, to deal with this aberration, to deal with this gap, I directed the Office of the Sports Registrar and the Anti-Doping Agents of Kenya to immediately commence mapping of all training camps. I'm glad to report that this exercise took place from the 27th of March to 3rd of April, and the primary objective really was to identify all training camps and get together all the necessary information. The exercise was conducted in a total of 53 training camps, and in the submission, the documentation that I have provided to this Honorable House, we have provided under Annex A the information that was obtained from that mapping exercise that I ordered be undertaken. Honorable Speaker, the team that undertook this mapping exercise ran into quite a number of challenges that I had to bring to the attention of this House. Some camps closed to evade access by the team that was undertaking this process, and we noticed a very, very clear unwillingness of camp managers to share relevant information for purposes of this mapping exercise. There was lack of awareness and understanding of existing laws and policies among the people who manage these spaces. And you could notice that there was a lot of sensitivity around issues of doping, licensing, making camp residents hesitant to provide necessary information. There were many instances where camp managers disappeared, making it difficult to undertake this exercise. Nonetheless, the ministry was able to issue 1,018 licensing forms to the 53 training camps and other relevant target groups. These forms have not been returned yet, and that is a process that is being followed up. I want also to indicate that in February this year, I instructed the sports registrar to distribute licensing forms to Athletics Kenya, the federation that is responsible for managing athletics in the country, and a total of 300 application forms were provided to AK. AK has made a commitment to make returns on this exercise. With regard to Elgeyo Marakwet County, it is worth noting that this county boasts of the highest number of training camps in the whole country, primarily because of the very unique location of this county, the high altitude, the incredible beauty. This place is absolutely beautiful, out of this world. I visited the other day and I had difficulty living. And because of all these factors combined, Elgeyo Marakwet is a very popular destination for training camps. And some of the popular camps in this county includes Iten Athletics Training Camp, Esemi Athletics Camp, Kechei Ikaika, Volea Runex, St. Patrick's Iten, Kapsait, Sparks Training Camp, in Kapcherop, Kamoswort Community Athletics Camp, Global Sports Communication Training Camp in Kaptagat, Mokuo Training Camp, Rosa Athletics Camp in Kaptagat, and Kapngetuni Training Camp. The ministry remains fully committed to making sure that this whole space is better managed, and I particularly want to add that we have put together a very robust multi-agency team, especially to help us deal with the challenge of doping. And we have also given this team, headed by former Member of Parliament, former elite athlete Wesley Korir, we have given them the responsibility to start this exercise. And I have information that they have already started this process. And among the things they have done is to include a register of athletes, because currently we do not have a database of all our athletes, which makes the anti-doping effort quite problematic. They are creating a database for athletes, a database of the training camps, to encourage athletes to be part of this program. We have suspended the fee payable. There is a fee of 2,000 shillings that is payable for athletes to register to enter the database. We have waived that fee. And so I'm encouraging all athletes to take advantage of this waiver and to register to be part of the database for free. That database will also include the spaces where they train, including the training camps. On the segment B of the question, how many foreign athletes are currently training in the aforementioned camps? As I've already mentioned, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Senators, this is a process that is ongoing in terms of getting the data together. And I must admit to this Honorable House that it is really was an oversight for this ministry not to have put this information together previously. But we are fixing it. I'm glad that we are fixing this. And while I may not with certainty give the exact number of foreign athletes in the country, in due course, and I can commit to this house that within 30 days, after the conclusion of this exercise that is already going on, I'll be able to provide this information both to the Honorable Senator Kisang and for the benefit of this house. Those application forms are already going on, and I'm glad that we have included a whole cross-government effort to include KRA, the Ethics and Corruption Commission, the NHIF, the DCI. It is a collective effort to just make sure that this is properly done. I have also provided information there in terms of the time, the seasons, when you expect a lot of these athletes in the country. As we know, athletics is pretty seasonal, and all those details have been provided in the answer. And from the foregoing information we have provided, it's important to appreciate that the peak season of foreign athletes in Kenya is normally between January and March, according to the mapping of the seasons that we have done. Segment C requires me to clarify whether foreign athletes are registered and indicate the type of visa granted to them. Again, as I've already indicated, the process of mapping, the process of registration, the process of monitoring is ongoing. What is important for the House to note is that we have brought structure to that space, and we have also provided resources, sufficient resources to help us manage that whole space. And so as soon as we conclude that exercise, we'll be able to give an indication on the exact status. But as to visa, the ordinary visa, the normal visa granted to this type of visitors is the tourist visa. And after the tourist visa is granted, a license is supposed to issue. And that is where we have had an issue, because that space has not been very well governed. And as I've said, it is something we are fixing. We also have every intention of making changes to the policy and legal framework by taking a fresh look at the law to manage this space better as Kenya becomes more and more attractive to foreign agents and foreign athletes. Segment D is asking information on the exchange between local and foreign athletes using Kenyan camps and ensuring that local talent is not overshadowed by our visitors or our foreign friends. Honorable members, in order to ensure that knowledge exchange occurs between the two segments of local and foreign athletes using our camps, and to prevent what has been described as overshadowing of local talent, we intend, and we are already doing this, to invest heavily in licensing, making sure that there's collaboration, there is synergy in that whole ecosystem between the camps, the Kenya Academy of Sports, the State Department of Immigration, and the education institutions where a lot of athletes are domiciled. We are also developing policy guidelines on this whole area of camps, and reviewing the Sports Act and the National Sports Policy to manage that whole ecosystem better. But I can say, even for now, that there is a very symbiotic relationship between our local athletes and foreign athletes. We have had some really, really top level, elite at least, like Mo Farah, training here with us, and definitely it has benefits of the two sets of athletes training together. Besides the fact that under our sports safari project, where we are using sports to promote tourism, this also encourages, helps to market our country and attract increased number of visitors, promoting areas like Elgeyo Marakwet and other parts of the country to the outside world. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. Senator Kisang, before you ask your supplementary question, I would like to give this opportunity to Senator Olekina to give some remarks to the delegation of lecturers and students from Masai Mara University, Narok. Please, Senator.
Mr. Speaker, sir, let me appreciate you for your magnanimity in allowing me to welcome the students and the leaders from Masai Mara University. I want to encourage them, and as you are visiting here today, this university has turned Narok into the go-to place. Properties in Narok, you know, the prices have now escalated because of the fact that we have a university. I just want to encourage you and to advise you that when you're visiting here for an academic exercise, please go back to Narok, knowing very well that you're fully represented. Ensure that you engage the businesses in Narok community, all the businesses in Narok, so that you can get internships, so that you can be able to ensure that when you're in college, before you graduate, you've already lined up your job. So I want to encourage you to continue, and others who are not here, to always come and visit. But most importantly, ask yourself, what is in it for me? What is my visit here for? Here we see us arguing. I'm sure you are entertained with the back-to-back argument between the senator for Nandi, but that is normal. That is representation. Maybe the senator felt like there was something which he really needed to do. You need to take this opportunity to learn, and I thank you for coming, and I will definitely be visiting the university so that we can engage to see how you can create opportunities for yourself within the businesses that surround Narok County. We don't need to go to Nairobi to look for jobs. We can create, we can realign the existing resources. I know the former chancellor, who had a lot of challenges, had started a cooperation with the Chinese to be able to produce medicine. I hope that the instructors who are here, or the lecturers who are here, can continue, engaging further in collaboration with other universities abroad, so that we can be able to make Masai Mara University a go-to place, and Masai Mara University can be able to actually now begin packaging perfumes. They can package a lot of other things because of their environment. Otherwise, I thank you, and I welcome you again.
Thank you, Senator Olekina. What is your intervention, Senator Sifuna? Senator Kisang, what is your supplementary question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you realize that two of the questions are not yet answered, but I'll wait for the 30 days the CS has requested, because you noticed that he said they started the assignment around February, March, but they'll complete in due course. Honorable Speaker, I have two supplementary questions. Number one, actually it's like comment. Number one is I would urge the CS, especially to have a desk in his office within the ministry for the young athletes, because sometimes they get invitations to go and run out of the country, but it takes time for them to access or to get the passports. So it is important that you set up a small desk between yourselves and AK. They don't miss an opportunity to go and show the talent and make money. So it's important that you have a desk to assist, even if they don't have money. You know, sometimes we contribute as leaders from those regions to give them money for processing passport. I hope the new fees that were proposed by the CS Kindiki they'll go back to the old rates because of our youth. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I also want the CS to tell us what plans does he have, especially for the athletes who go around outside there, they get maybe token, they make some money, and then after a while, you know, some of them, they don't have knowledge in terms of investments. The ministry should be able to assist in conjunction with the county government so that we can have maybe even partner with local universities or local colleges around the region so that we can impart knowledge in terms of investments, in terms of entrepreneurship, so that they can invest, because these are seasonal talent. Maybe by the time you are 40, 38 years, or you get an injury, you know, it becomes the end of you in nurturing that talent. So what plans do you have to impart knowledge so that they can do investment and then they can have quality life after retiring?
CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the issue of easing travel for athletes, I want to admit that previously this has been a major challenge for our athletes traveling out of the country. There have been challenges with processing of passports, processing of visa. But I'm glad to report to the House that the reforms that have been undertaken by this administration in the last 1 year have greatly eased the process of passports. And it's now faster, it's now easier, not just for athletes, for Kenyans generally to access passports. That is something really we must applaud the State Department for Immigration. Honorable Speaker, specifically for sportsmen and women seeking to travel out of the country, the ministry has made itself available to make interventions anytime that is required. Personally, I intervene pretty much on a daily basis. Sometimes I can report to this House, we get passports, visas processed in a period of 12 to 24 hours. And I really want to acknowledge the incredible work going on at the State Department of Immigration. The Principal Secretary there, Ambassador Bitok, is doing an amazing job. They have been very responsive. Anytime we make a request for a sports person going out of the country and we need a passport accelerated, they have been very responsive. I also want to acknowledge the diplomatic missions located here. The Ministry of Youth Affairs, the Creative Economy and Sports has built a brilliant relationship with all diplomatic missions here. And often as yesterday, you will call an ambassador, even on a weekend, you'll fix an appointment at short notice, and they have really assisted to accelerate issuance of visa. We have not had any situation, any case in the last 1 year where any of our athletes has failed to honor an international obligation, either because of delay in passport or delay in issuance of visa. I want to assure this House that we'll continue to be vigilant, we'll continue to be alert, and we'll continue to be available to support our sportsmen and women to access passports and visa on time. We have also submitted to Cabinet, I can disclose here, we have submitted to Cabinet a request that our top sportsmen and women who really do an amazing job branding this country, marketing Kenya like nothing else does. Indeed, Kenya's top export to the world is our sportsmen and women. They do more to brand Kenya, to market Kenya than anything else. We have requested that they be considered for special issuance of diplomatic visa, access to certain spaces which can ease their movement when they are representing the country. And that is under consideration. On the second question, Honorable Speaker, on athletes and how they manage their finances, it is depressing indeed to see some of the biggest names in our sports suffer greatly in retirement. Last year, among my first acts after being named Cabinet Secretary for Sports was to travel to Kericho to lay to rest the first man to win an Olympic medal for Kenya, Wilson Kiprugut Arap Chumo. And we laid this great Kenyan at the age of 84 after a life in retirement that was truly, truly shameful. And we can say that about many former sportsmen and women who, upon retirement, lead truly difficult lives. We are making interventions, working closely with Athletics Kenya. Among those interventions is a program that we are working out together with the Kenya Commercial Bank, KCB. Under this program, we provide what you can call investment intelligence to sportsmen and women and customized training packages for sportsmen and women on how to manage their finances better, on how to invest better, and also just to be finance savvy and be in a position where they can take better care of their finances. The shelf life of your average sportsman and woman is about 10 years. It's a very short shelf life. Before you know it, the gravity train has stopped and you are at retirement. And so we are using this program to prepare them for that. We are also pleased to inform this House that on the 30th of this month, a few days from today, we'll be launching Kenya's first ever pension scheme for athletes. And so athletes are going to have a pension program where they can put in some resources. Government will also put in some resources to provide a program where after retirement, you'll have some pension benefit, just like any other salaried Kenyan. We have also started a process in the ministry to develop a social security policy for what you can call our veterans, our veteran sportsmen and women. And these will include sensitization of all stakeholders, including athletes and the veterans themselves. And also, honorable senators, we are putting together a program where we can make good use of our retired sportsmen and women. The ongoing Talanta Hela program, for instance, has tapped into retired sportsmen and women as scouts, providing their services as scouts in the program of sporting and developing young talents. And as we do that, we are also honoring our retired sportsmen and women. Earlier this year in August, we hosted the Hongera Awards, where for the first time in the history of this country, we honored our elite legends that have decorated our sports over the years. We have also decided that most of our sporting facilities will be named after these legends. And we'll be starting this Saturday. I can inform this House that this Saturday we have a special ceremony in Kericho to formally, officially rename the Kericho Green Stadium as Kiprugut Chumo Stadium in honor of the late Kiprugut Chumo, the winner of Kenya's first ever Olympics medal. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. Next question is question number 71, which will be asked by Senator Omatinga on behalf of Senator Murango.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm licensed to ask a question on behalf of Senator of Kirinyaga, who's attending an official visit in Kirinyaga County. Mr. Speaker, sir, may the CS tell us what has occasioned the delay in the completion of the project of the construction of Wanguru International Stadium in Moya constituency in Kirinyaga County, which was launched in 2020? B, could the Cabinet Secretary disclose pending works and state the projected date of completion? And C, what is the total budgeted cost of the project, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide the status of payments to the respective contractors and also disclose the outstanding amount? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Cabinet Secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit that Wanguru International Stadium was one of the 4 legacy projects of the immediate former administration. Now, regarding the delay in the completion of the Wanguru Stadium, I wish to indicate the following: that the project was handed over to the main contractor, VV Enterprises, on the 5th day of August 2020, with the construction commencing on August 12th, that same year, 2020. However, the implementation of the project faced a number of delays due to weather, persistent rainfall, and such factors. We also then that year had to face the COVID-19 pandemic, which had a significant impact on the speed or expedition of delivering that project. But those factors notwithstanding, I'm pleased to inform the House that the stadium has been fully completed according to the scope of works that had been indicated at the commencement of that project. The stadium has been put to use once in a while, and to ensure effective management and utilization of this facility, the ministry is in the process of finalizing a joint management and maintenance framework with the county government of Kirinyaga. We believe that in the next couple of weeks, this framework should be ready for execution between our Sports Kenya agency that manages the facilities. Now, on this segment B of the question on the budget, this project at the time of its commencement was budgeted at 696 million Kenya shillings, 473,751.38 cents. Additionally, the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government contracted another contractor called Jimro Enterprises at the cost of 176,412,767.50 cents to undertake construction of additional 10 steel stands and electrical installation. The contractor was also required to install a generator at the county commissioner's residence to facilitate the hosting of a garden party during the Mashujaa Day celebrations, which were hosted at this particular stadium in 2021. The decision to contract Jimro Enterprises was occasioned by a presidential directive that year to host Mashujaa Day celebrations at this Wanguru Stadium, noting that the construction works by VV Enterprises Limited had faced delays due to what we have indicated as the weather conditions and the impact of COVID. So far, the records indicate that Jimro Enterprises Limited has received payments totaling 170,957,650.80 cents from the Ministry of Interior, because that was contracted directly from by the Ministry of Interior, with an outstanding bill of 5,455,117.50 cents. As for VV Enterprises, they have already been paid 679,535,567.23, with an outstanding payment of 16,938,194.15 from the State Department of Sports. The records do indicate, Honorable Speaker, Honorable House, that as per the scope of work, this project is concluded, and in fact, in our list of facilities, Wanguru Stadium is available for public use. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. Senator, you have a supplementary question? Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and Honorable CS, for that comprehensive answer. My question is, there are several stadiums that have been commissioned by the previous regime, and they lacked a uniform design. One of them is Wanguru, there's one in Embu, there's one in Loringo, which have all since stalled at different development stage. What is the ministry doing to ensure that moving forward, we have a uniform design that would be easy to oversight, that would be easy to follow up, and most importantly, to control the cost factor, which has been escalating, as it has been the case in Oreguruoni. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Cabinet Secretary, and please, Cabinet Secretary, if you could be brief on the supplementary answers so that we can move faster.
Very, very quickly, just to inform the Honourable Senator that indeed there are a number of stadia that commenced under the previous administration. We have done a quick assessment of those stadia. We have gone further also to subject these projects to a forensic audit just to determine the value for money that was put into these projects. That forensic audit is at a tail end. As soon as that process is concluded, we have every intention to complete every project that has already expended public resources. We don't intend to let any of these projects go to waste. And as far as for standards, I'm pleased to inform this House that the ministry has now developed a sports and creatives infrastructure master plan. We now have a master plan that is very clear on what kind of facility to do at the international level, at a regional level, and at a community level. That master plan will guide all future sports facilities in the country. I submit.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. We'll move on to the question number 72 and 73, which is by the Senator for Kisii County, Senator Richard Wanyonka. Senator Mbugua, on his behalf, you can ask the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 72 on behalf of the distinguished Senator for Kisii, the Honorable Senator Richard Wanyonka. A, what was the total amount of money utilized by the government in organizing and hosting the 2023 World Rally Championship Safari Rally event? And could the Cabinet Secretary provide a breakdown of the expenditure and disclose any funding received from WRC International? And B, could the Cabinet Secretary provide details of the audit findings of the Office of the Auditor General on the utilization of public funds in organizing and hosting the WRC Safari Rally? And C, are there any outstanding bills related to the WRC Safari Rally? And if so, could the Cabinet Secretary provide information of the nature of the bills and the projected timelines for their settlement? Thank you, Speaker.
Senator Mbugua, proceed with the next question as well so that the CS can tackle both.